guys, Colonel Ninny here. This series of video tutorials is designed for the brand new player to IL-2's Battle of Stalingrad. It's a very complex flight sim and there's a lot to learn. And to help you get there faster, check out my channel. I've got over 100 tutorials that will guide your progress. This is Mission 15, the last in the series. In this final mission of the Sea Dragons campaign, we are going to take our group and fly over to the convoy of the Germans as they are departing the peninsula. But just to introduce you to a new method in navigating, we are going to fly directly from Anapa to the target, and this is called Dead Reckoning. If you look at the time and distance here on each of these legs, you can see that it adds up to about 14 minutes. Each of these grid squares is 10 kilometers. So to go from here to there, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, which is about 75 kilometers. In this equation, we know that speed equals distance divided by time. And in the same way, we could say that time equals distance divided by speed. So the question is, how long will it take us to fly from this point to that point, and at what point will we be able to see the target? If we plug the numbers in, we'll see that 75 kilometers divided by our speed will give us 0.23 hours, multiplied by 60 minutes gives us 14 minutes en route. There's a bit of a fudge factor here because we're not going to be going at our cruise speed as we take off and climb, but it'll sort itself out on the way. The next question is, what is going to be the heading? And that's my guesstimate as the heading we need. And provided we keep our heading with no crosswind, we should remain on track all the way to the target. And the third question is, what is the visibility? How soon will we be able to see that target before we reach it? In other words, when will it render in for us on the screen? For example, if the visibility was 6 kilometers, at that speed it would take us about 1 minute and 5 seconds before our expected arrival time. So we should expect to see our target after about 13 minutes. If the visibility is really good, the ships will render in a little earlier, so we may start looking for the target after about 10 minutes. So how are we going to do this? We're going to start the stopwatch as we take off, get onto our heading, and then leave everything alone. So we'll be approaching the target from here. The ships are probably moving in this direction. And our major concern is if we get hit, there's only enemy territory over here. So our closest egress is going to be back to friendly territory there. And so a rough guesstimate is that that is about 0.45. If you're damaged, you're going to head back there. If you're not damaged, you can just head back across the ocean. And that'll be about 110 degrees. And how long will it take us to get back? Obviously, about the same time it took us to get here. Okay, let's roll. Power up, stopwatch on. 4 minutes on the clock, 290 heading, 600 meters. And that's where we are. After 6 minutes, we've adjusted the power to give us 320 kilometers an hour. After 8 minutes, we can see the shore in the distance where the point would be, but still no ships. After 10 minutes, heading and altitude and speed are all the same. There's the point with the bay slightly to the right. So what we can see is the point with the bay slightly to the right. So we're slightly off course here. We're going to alter heading 20 degrees to the left. Remember, this is just a guesstimate as to where the target will be. So we're coming around to 270 here. And at 12 minutes, we have that point of friendly land off to our right at 3 o'clock. There's the other point, and the target should be dead ahead. And at 13 minutes here, we should be able to see the target. And there it is, dead ahead, slightly at 1 o'clock. And that is what is called dead reckoning. It'll take us another minute to get to the target. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. Probably some gunboats. Okay, we're going to take the one out on the far right side. Do a bombing run here on that same target. Nice. Alright, I have 3 bombs left. I'm going to drop one on each of these 3 ships if I can. Although we planned a different reciprocal heading home because of the position of where the ships are, we're going to need to go about 090 to get home. And in fact, if you look dead ahead, you can actually see the cliffs and the mountains where the airfield is going to be. And so from here, 13 or 14 minutes and we'll be on the ground. Now, of course, on the way back, we don't have to keep 320 kilometers an hour. We can go as fast as we can, get home safely. I want you to notice just on the left-hand side of the trim wheel here, you'll see the clock. If you have Truck IR or VR, you'll be able to see that clock and you might be able to use that instead of a stopwatch. Now that we're closer, you can see the lakes up ahead, which are these lakes here. So if we come right 5 or 10 degrees, we'll be right at the airfield. And something else to consider here is the oil temperature. It's in the normal zone, but we could stand to actually open up the oil radiator, or close the oil radiator rather, about halfway. And that'll take a little bit of drag out of the system and allow us to fly a little bit faster. That's just a consideration. And on winter maps, you're certainly going to want to be doing that to keep your engine warm and yet cut down on the drag. Airfield in sight, and if we make a good landing, that's the end of this mission and the end of this series, Sea Dragons. So the mission accomplished. If you look from start to finish, it's 31 minutes, 14 minutes each way, and 3 or 4 minutes dropping our ordnance. So that dead reckoning has worked out well. How did we do? We got 3 cannons, which would be the anti-aircraft guns, and then 1 ship. So that's pretty good. After 15 successful missions on this campaign, it's time to leave the old IL-2 behind. You've learned a lot of skills here that you can take with you to the next campaigns. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Stick with me and we're going to learn how to fly faster, more deadly, and more complex aircraft. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please leave